So guys, hello, welcome to our one more live stream. You are welcome in our one more live stream. I think this is second or third live stream. Third live stream, I think so. In today's live stream, I am telling about the types of arrays, means how many types of arrays are in the arrays, so in the data structure. So in today's video, I am telling you about it. So now let's start and let's talk about it. And who are coming in the live stream, so welcome. Okay. So now anyways, let's start and let's talk about the types of arrays. So in today's live stream we are talking about it, and in the previous live stream you will be support me, okay, so thank you for it. But anyways, let's talk about how many types of arrays are in the data structure. And now let's start. So now there are majorly four types of arrays: fixed size array, dynamic size array, the first dimensional array, and multi-dimensional array. There are four types of four types of arrays. Okay, so now classification of types of arrays. However, these array types can be broadly classified in two ways. First, on the basis of size, or on the basis of dimensions. Table of content. Now, classification of types of arrays on the basis of array size: fixed size arrays, dynamic size arrays. In the types of array on the basis of dimension, there is come three arrays. First array means two-dimensional array, means 2D array, and three-dimensional array. Okay, so types of arrays on the basis of size. First, fixed size array. Let's talk about what is the fixed size array. Now, we cannot alter or update the size of this array. Okay, where all a fixed size, okay, there is only a fixed size. For example, the size that is mentioned in the square brackets of the memory will be allocated for storage. In case we don't know the size of the array, then if we declare a larger size and store a lesser number of elements with result in a vast stage of memory, or we declare a lesser size than the number of elements, then we wouldn't get enough memory to store our elements. In such cases, static memory allocation is not preferred. Here it give me the one example. Here you can see it. So this one example, you will be running the example in the any language. There is a one method to create a fixed size array. Then here you write the memory is allocated at the compile time, and there you wrote in a one integer array in which you wrote in 5. And here is one other way of creation and initialization both. Method 2 is to create a fixed size array, and here is a memory allocated at a runtime also. Okay, and then no as dynamically allocated arrays, and here it give me the one syntax also. Okay, dynamic size arrays. Now we talk about a fixed size arrays. Now let's talk about a dynamic size array. So now many people do not know what is the dynamic size array. So now let me tell you what is the dynamic size arrays. The size of the array which changes as per user requirements, means per user requirements the size of the arrays are changes during execution of a code. So the coders do not have to worry about sizes, because they can add or remove the elements as per the need. The memory is mostly dynamically allocated and deallocated in these arrays. Like here he gave me the code, here you can see it. These are syntax, you will be thinking this is not a code, because there are only 3 lines of code. Here let me explain you this code. This is a dynamic integer array. What? This is a dynamic integer array, it has been created. Now, type of arrays on the basis of dimensions. Now I told you about two types of array on the basis of size, and there are two types of array which is basis on size. First is fixed size arrays, and second is dynamic size arrays. Now let's talk about the type of arrays on the basis of dimensions. Now there are majorly three types of arrays which is basis on dimensions: one dimensional array, 1D array means, and you can imagine a ID array, 1D array as a row where elements are stored one after another. Here you can see it, these 0, if you see is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these are the index. What? These are the index. Let me make a one square on it. These are the square, okay? And if you see this 5, 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, these are the elements. What? These are the elements, okay? Like 5, 20, this is called 1D array. What? This is called 1D array. You can imagine as a 1D as a row where elements store one after another. Okay. Now let me tell you about the syntax for declaration of a single dimensional array. Now Below is one syntax. Here is one syntax to declare a single dimensional array. Here you can see it, where data underscore type is a type of data of each array block. Array underscore name is the name of the array using which we can refer to it. Then array underscore size is the number of blocks of memory array going to have. Now it has been given me one example also. Number one, I have told you about a one dimensional array. One means 1D array. So now let's talk about a two dimensional array, means that 2D array. So let's talk about a 2D array. So now let's start and let's talk about a 2D array, means what is the 2D array. Now multi-dimensional arrays can be considered as an array of arrays or as a matrix consisting of rows and columns. Now there it has been given me a diagram of a 2D array. So 0, 1, 2. If we wrote it down here 0, 1, 2, this 0, 1, 2. This is the column, okay, and then row. These are the row. These 0, 1, 2. These are the rows going on and on. Like these are 0 row, and in which he wrote in a 5, 10, 20. Then there's a second row. That means first row in which he wrote in a 25, 30, 35. And there is a second row in which he wrote down 1, 3, 4. Okay, this called a dynamic. This called a 2D array. Means multi-dimensional array can be considered as an arrays of arrays or as a matrix which is consisting of rows and columns. Okay. Now syntax for declaration two-dimensional array. Below is one syntax to declare two-dimensional array. Here you can see it. Where data underscore type is a type of data of each array block. Then array underscore name is the name of the array which is using we can refer to it. Then size of underscore dimension is the number of blocks of memory which is array going to have in the corresponding dimension. This example, for example. Now three-dimensional array. So let's talk about a three-dimensional array. Why we use that? A 3D multi-dimensional array contains 3 dimensions. So it can be considered an array of two-dimensional arrays. Okay. So if you see the diagram, this is a very big diagram. In the starting he wrote down the array square bracket row call. If you see here, sorry, by the mistake I copied it, so you do not want to copy it, just zoom it and just create a one square. I am creating it the square for you for your better understanding, means your concept will be clear about it. Okay, and then font weight I am increasing. Now this is one array. Now array square bracket 2 square bracket row and square bracket column. There is the array 0. If you see here, there is the array 0 in which he created a 3 row. If you see here, and first of all here he created one column, and there are 0, 1, 2 column. Okay, and then here he create. Okay, why it is doing like this? Okay, then here we create a one row. If you see here we create a one row by the name of 0. Then here we create a one row by the name of 1 in which I wrote in down 25, 30, 35. And then I create a one second row in which I wrote in 1, 3, 4. Okay, like this type of. Okay, these 3 row and this. And then here we create then here we wrote in down array semicolon row 1. Okay. And then here we create a one column in which I wrote in down 0 and 1 and 2. If you see here, okay, and then here we create a one row by the name of 0, then 1 and then 2. Okay, then this is called a 3D array. Why this is called 3D array? Because a 3-dimensional array contains 3 dimensions. So it can be considered as array of 2-dimensional arrays. If you see in the diagram, there is a same. Okay. Like I told you, the 3D multi-dimensional array contains 3 dimensions, so it can be considered an array of 2-dimensional array. Here you can see in the diagram. Now syntax for declaration of 3-dimensional array. Below is the syntax. There is one syntax of declare a 3-dimensional array where data underscore type is a type of data of each array block. Then array underscore name is the name of the array which we are using, which we can refer to it. Then size of dimension, size of underscore dimension is the number of blocks of memory array going to have in the corresponding dimension. There is one example it has been given me. So here you can see it in today's live stream. I told you about This is a part 39 in which I talk about what are the types of array, means how many types of arrays are in today's in the arrays. I told you about it. There are 4 types of array. I told you about a fixed size array, dynamic size array, first dimensional array, and multi-dimensional array. So I hope you enjoy this live stream, and if you enjoy, so like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to all the notification bell also. So now we meet in the tomorrow we meet with our one more live stream, okay, because tomorrow our live stream will be not come, because I told you in the first live stream we leave one day, then one day our live stream will become. We leave one day and then one day our live stream will become like this, okay. So now let's meet you in the next live stream and next very amazing live stream. So now for today, goodbye.